We're back. I have been away from my lawyer's corner for such a while. I was busy with Mrs. South Africa, finished my reign, prepared for Mrs. World. Now I want Mrs. World. Wow. Welcome back to my lawyer's corner. I am back. If you're new to my lawyer's corner, welcome to my lawyer's corner. My name is Tshego Kgailai. I'm an admitted attorney of almost 10 years post-admission. Here on my lawyer's corner, we share legal nuggets and information that teaches you or intended to teach you about your legal rights. Disclaimer is that my lawyer's corner is not to be construed as legal advice. If you are in a situation where you need assistance from an attorney, don't Google it, don't AI find the answer. Please consult an attorney and get proper legal advice from someone who's going to look into your circumstances in depth and give you the relevant legal advice. Today we will be talking about the legal consequences of signing a contract without reading it. Let's get into it. Many people skimp on reading the terms and conditions on contracts they enter, like gym contracts, like rental agreements, even employment contracts. I guess because in most instances those contracts may be full of legal jargon, but that's not a reason why you should avoid reading that contract. Perhaps give it to someone who can understand and interpret it for you, because there are consequences for not reading your contract. Not reading your terms and conditions can lead to really expensive consequences. The law would assume that you have read the terms and conditions of that agreement by you affixing your signature. You can also find yourself bound to unfair terms and conditions because you failed to read it. And if you were to take that contract to court, the court doesn't accept ignorance as an excuse. You say that you did not read the contract or you didn't understand the contract. The court wouldn't accept that as an excuse, because the presumption is that you read and understood that contract by affixing your signature. How you can avoid being trapped by a contract that may contain terms and conditions that are not favorable to you? Firstly, you have to read it. You have to read it to determine what are the terms and conditions that are in that contract. And yes, some terms do contain legal jargon. This is why you need to ask someone who can explain the legal terms to you. Either ask an attorney, either ask someone who's like a paralegal, someone who can understand legal jargon and interpret it to you. Signing it blindly is not going to help you. There's important terms that should be contained in a contract that can help you to know whether you are on the right path or not. The payment terms, read the obligations, your obligations, the other party's obligations. Read your rights in terms of the contract. Read the termination clause of the contract, the duration, the dispute resolution. Read those terms, skim through the contract and get to those terms and see what they say. And ask a friend if you need someone to explain it. Or maybe not ask a friend, ask a lawyer. So next time you're handed a contract that you may not understand, don't just sign it. Read it. Check the terms and conditions, because you will be bound to that agreement, whether you understood it, whether you liked the terms, whether you agreed to the terms or not. By you affixing your signature, that is you agreeing to be bound by the terms and conditions contained in that agreement. That is this episode of My Lawyer's Corner.